Have we started? Are we live? Yes, and I have an advert playing on my own video. I love it. How are we? Sorry guys, I've sprayed some fly spray in here before, but there's a fly flying around. And greetings from Dianella, Werewolf by lunchtime. I'm flying to Perth tomorrow. Um, Shame there's no toy show or anything on, but so we got George Aitken, Soviet Idiot, El Tender's channel, Chris Miwa, good to see ya, Bobby L. Collins, Werewolf by Lunchtime, Patton, Rich Hawkins, Michael Schaefer, Gary Morgan, Gary's Action Man channel, good to see ya. Awesome. All right, guys, we're going to talk about the Action Man Internationals today. I'm not sure. For those who don't collect Action Man, if you actually know what the International series was, see, there's that bloody fly. Badre Bally, how are you going? Kieran Ball, Michael Herring. I'm doing good, thanks, mate. Sorry for slurping on my coffee. It's 6 a.m. here. Is the stream good? Can you see everything okay? Hear everything okay? Where's the Star Wars mug? It's in the dishwasher. My son had fly. Damn. My son had a couple of his friends sleep over last night, and we cooked a big barbecue. And normally we do our dishes in the sink, but because we had guests round, we did barbecue. There was a lot of dirty dishes. We just stuck everything in the dishwasher, and my Star Wars cup is in the dishwasher. Okay, George Aitken has just finished a pot noodle. Well done, mate. Yes, I should get one of those tennis racket bug zapper things. That'd make for a good live stream, wouldn't it? And just trying to swap flies, but don't normally get flies in this room. We do a lot of flies in Australia. It's quite hot, and we do tend to get them in the house because we've got a balcony here, and we keep the door open just a fraction to let the cats go in and out, and because of that, you get a lot of flies coming into the living room area. There's nothing you can do about it here, but Jen says hello from Action Man headquarters, Denmark. Alan Dawson, how you doing? Winston Churchill, greetings from San Diego. I didn't know Winston Churchill was in San Diego. Paul Richards from Bradford, West Yorkshire. One of my good friends at work's from Bradford, although he's been in Australia since, I think, 1992, so it's been a while since he was in Bradford, I think. Matt Ludi, how you going? James Morgan. Cool, we got a few people in the chat now. Scuba, sup, mate? Good to see you. So the Action Man Internationals was a line. Don't quote me on what year it came out because I don't know. JCC 2224. Hey man, I don't want to hijack the live stream, but I want to ask you something. Been watching your content for a while and love the content. That's okay. You're not hijacking the stream. This is just because we got a topic. You can still ask any question you want. It doesn't have to be about Action Man. If you've got questions, throw them out there, and I'll endeavour to answer them. Oh, here we go. I have an anniversary G.I. Joe beachhead that broke right out of the box. His joints are clear plastic. Is this a known problem with the anniversary G.I. Joe bodies? Are you talking 25th anniversary beachhead? Because if that's the case, I'm not the guy to answer that question because I never collected the 25th anniversary G.I. Joes. I don't know much about them. So, Badre Bally, how are things since those rough months with the fire and the pandemic? Well, bushfire season is approaching us. Bushfire season here is normally sort of November through to February, March. So that's okay as it is. Pandemic-wise, Western Australia has its borders closed. We have been doing very well. But some of you know I work at a port facility here that mainly ships iron ore, and we mine a lot of iron ore in Western Australia, and we ship it to China to produce steel. And just 2 days ago, they announced that one of the vessels offshore here from the Philippines had a couple of guys on the vessel that tested for positive for COVID. They sent an emergency response team up here. I think they went out onto the ship and they tested them, and turned out there was 11 people. So I think they brought them into Port Hedland, but obviously into isolation and all that. So it's a very small community I live in. There's like 15,000 people here, and we're quite concerned about this. But we're not here to talk about a pandemic. We're here to talk about toys. Action Man Customs says the little flag on the USMC is such a nice touch. Yes, it is. He's one of my favourite. On exactly what year these guys came out, I'm going to have a look. And it doesn't tell me what year. I think this would have been around 1979. But basically, the story of the Action Man Internationals, I'll show you this book in a second, is that Action Man was sold on what they use what they call a razor and razor blade sort of marketing strategy, where the Action Man figure was the razor, and then all the outfits and accessories were the blades that you had to acquire to make the product useful. So as a general rule, Action Man figures were solely had trousers, a shirt or tunic, some kind of boots and headdress, and no other accessories. This is one of the outfits you can get. This is the US World War II machine helmet, boots. He has a neck scarf, but he also comes with I don't know if the Americans call it the same, but basically a cartridge belt with over-the-shoulder harness, some grenades, a water bottle, a bayonet and scabbard, and then a Browning 30 caliber machine gun on a tripod. That was a complete outfit, but they were kind of expensive. So what Palatoy used to do, they also used to sell smaller cards with... is the live stream a bit jumpy? Damn, I'm not having much luck here, am I? Only a little, okay. What I'm actually doing, because I'm having internet problems at the house, as you guys know, I often do the streams through my phone. I've actually disconnected the Wi-Fi from my phone, so I can just stream through 4G, because, yeah, the video I uploaded to Patreon yesterday, the top 10 80s action figure toy lines, that took me hours and hours to upload that video. I don't know what's going on. Got internet issues here, and unfortunately I've got a fix, and I can't even seem to get hold of Telstra. But I'm warping through time. Yeah, we'll power through. Okay. Yeah, so Palatoy was very wise. They used to sell a lot of what they call like pocket money priced items, where you could get a small card back which might just have a rifle and a pistol on it, or some various pieces of equipment, which really encouraged a child to customize their action figure and make him their own. The Internationals was the first time, and this is a couple of pages from the Volume 3 Alan Hall book. This was the first time that Palatoy kind of released a full dressed outfit without accessories. So these were generally trousers, shirt, boots, and headdress, no other accessories, which you could customize. But there were some very unique pieces that came out in this line that were not available in other lines. Now, there were 8 Internationals. I'll show you what the basic figures should look like. So that's basically what the outfits look like out of the box. Sorry, out of the card. I don't have a carded example to show you. Obviously, I've got several Action Man tank commanders in my collection, but I don't specifically have the Internationals one, where they use a slightly different type of fabric for the jacket. Paul Richards, I will talk about the sash for the Russian in a moment. I'll go through each of these guys one by one and kind of show you how I customize them. Someone asked me a question before about a book. Here we go. Matt Ludi. Tony, I know you did the Awesome Action Man documentary, but would you ever consider doing a coffee table type book of Action Man? No, Matt. Because, well, so one of the reasons I made the documentary is because it hadn't been done before. When it comes to books, there are several Action Man books available on them. Well, I don't know if they're still available. I bought mine years ago when they were first released. But this is volume 3 of a 3-volume set from Alan Hall, which is the Ultimate Collector's Guide. I've also got a Kevin King book, which is a collecting guide to Action Man. I have Action Man, the Official Dossier, which is kind of like a history of the toy. Yeah, there are a number of books around. First time since the so yes, the Soldiers of the Century were available on half cards where you could just get the uniform, but they were also available as a full set. Now, the US Marine, for example, was never available as a full set, and that's kind of what I mean. And there are some quite unique pieces here. So I suppose let's talk about the US Marine first. I particularly like this figure. So he has some chevrons on his sleeves. He's got the nice USMC logo on the chest. I've given him the standard American helmet, but rather than have the chin strap under the chin, I've put it across the top of the helmet there. And I have decked him out with the same webbing that comes with the US machine gunner down there, but rather than giving him a bayonet, we call it, he's got a water bottle in the back of his web gear, giving him the Thompson submachine gun, and then the American flag. I don't know where I found that. It's a small American flag. I don't think it can come from a gift shop somewhere. And I neatly folded it up and pressed it and stuffed it in his jacket. And I suppose maybe I was thinking about that famous image. Was it at Iwo Jima where they were raising the flag? Michael Schaefer, my grandfather was a Marine in World War II. I really should get an Action Man for a tribute. This would be a good one. This was the only Action Man Marine, although there were a lot of G.I. Joe Marines, which the G.I. Joe Marines wore this kind of duck hunter style camouflage that you see here. Badre Bali, wish I paid attention to the Palatoy line when I lived in the UK. Growing up, G.I. Joe, Action Force, Star Wars and Transformers took my time when we moved to Egypt, it was all G.I. Joe. Landon's Toy Reviews. Action Man is very cool, so they're not copying G.I. Joe. I don't... A bootleg or a copy. I actually made a video explaining that it's not a G.I. Joe ripoff. It was a fully licensed product that the first few years in the 60s, it was just repackaged G.I. Joe stuff. But even before the 60s were over, Action Man or Palatoy had started to introduce adventure type sets. So the famous G.I. Joe Fight for Survival set with the dog sled and the guy in all the Arctic gear, that was all designed by Palatoy. That was actually designed by Bob Breakin, the dog sled and team. By the time of the mid 70s, there was far more design concepts being sent from the UK back to America than was actually going the opposite direction. I mean, Palatoy introduced realistic hair. They introduced gripping hands or kung fu grip. All these innovations were sent from the UK back to the US. They were doing far more exciting stuff with the product than what Hasbro was doing at the time. And Action Man obviously outlasted the original 12-inch Joe for a long time. Yes, Mark. Some of my Action Men do still talk, and yes, that was one of the phrases, advance in single file. But none of these Action Man that I have here are actually talking Action Man figures. Did I miss a funny comment from Scuba Pete? Maybe not. I don't know. US Paratrooper does look great alongside the US MC. I don't have the US Para here. He wasn't part of the interview. It's upstairs next to the US Paratrooper. Great set. Werewolf by Lunchtime. How many animal figures did Action Man have for the sled team? Then you had the Bull Mastiff Brutus, the guard dog, which was available through the Star Scheme. You had the Action Man horse. That's all I can think. Oh, there was an octopus available with one of the diving sets. A shark. So we've got a shark, an octopus, a horse, a husky, a Bull Mastiff. That's all I can think of right now. I'm getting jumpy again, guys. I'm so sorry about this. But unfortunately, this isn't any issue I've had with the HD stuff. I'm giving up on that. I think I need to buy a totally new video capture device for HD streaming. The issue I'm having right now is literally over the last week, the internet at my house has gone completely tits up. I can't even actually speak to someone on the phone at our internet provider. They've been telling me to use this app where they run a test and it comes back and it says everything's fine. My modem's even got a red flashing light on it because it's not correct, and they're telling me it's fine. So I'm really struggling. Yes, Mark, that is the UN soldier. Let's talk about him. Yeah, maybe the koalas are chewing on the wires. Probably one of the only Action Man outfits I know of where the shirt actually has short sleeves. But the basic outfit here was a short sleeve shirt, trousers, short black boots, a beret with a sticker badge as opposed to a metal or plastic badge, and the armband, the blue, I don't know what you call it, like cravat type thing. That I actually got from Alan Dawson at Armaments in Miniature, who I did a panel talk with a while ago, and I believe he's in the chat. So Alan, that's one of your, what do you call them again? Oh yeah, no, you're right. Action Man Customs, the LRDG does have short sleeves. Yeah. Okay, so one of the few that has short sleeves. Yeah, so the neck scarf there, that came from Alan Dawson. I've then decked it out with the white webbing from the Mountain and Arctic. I've given him an SLR rifle with a white sling that's also from the Mountain and Arctic. What I've done with the boots here, if you see the boots, I don't know how well you can see the detail on the side there. They actually look like white gaiters. They are actually the tops of the Mountain and Arctic ski boots, which I just cut off with a box cutter, and they actually fit perfectly over the top of the short black boots and really sets off the uniform with the colour. And then obviously I've got a white helmet there, which is I think from the Emergency Series Medic set. Here's another interesting thing. I don't know if you noticed that he's actually got a brass buckle on the webbing there. So anyone who is familiar with the Action Man webbing, it was made from an injection molded flexible vinyl. The buckles are quite fragile, and if they get used several times, they can often rip. Well, this one example here did rip, so I took the brass buckles from a proper Action Man belt, like a fabric belt. The belt, fed it through, and then glued it onto itself with some Loctite glue. And Loctite glue, which I use in my day job, is used for gluing together rubber O-rings. And once you glue rubber with this type of Loctite glue, it does not come apart. And I think it actually looks far superior than the original injection molded buckle was supposed to look. So I really do like that brass buckle look. Yes, he does look very striking with the white on there. Werewolf by Lunchtime, no, there was a zipline playset. It was part of the Action Man training tower. I think in the Adventure Team line in G.I. Joe, you could get the zipline set separate. If you want to have a look at the Action Man training tower and the zipline set actually in action, check out my video, the top 10 best play sets for action figures, or best vintage play sets, whatever it was. The top 10 play sets, if you just search that on Analog Toys, and the training tower is, I don't know, I can't remember what number it comes in at. It was a long time ago I made that video. Brian Dillingham, it's unlikely that any water has gotten into my IT line because it hasn't rained here in 9 months. There is no water. It's dry as a bone out there. Before I move on to the German, so the Red Devil parachute is here. This is an original early 70s example where the figure's obviously got the hard hands. He's got the goggles with the elastic strap, not the rubber strap. Nationals version, because it's just the jumpsuit, the helmet, and the boots. When you've got the original complete one, there was nothing unique about that set, I suppose. That's why I didn't. Certainly with the US Marine. So now we get to the German. Parachute of the helmet was very badly discolored. And I was very fortunate to purchase a nice example from Gary Atkinson. Sorry, not Gary Atkinson. Gary Morgan from Gary's Action Man channel. Keith Samuel says, why were Tom Stone's hands different to all the other action men? Because they used the same hands. That it was his whole body is actually different. It is a G.I. Joe Adventure Team style muscle body, not the Action Man dynamic physique body. Because of that, it came with different hands. This figure here, which is the most lackluster Space Ranger, the outfit was literally a blue jumpsuit, the boots, and the helmet. He's Tom Stone, because this is actually this is a Toll Toys Australian figure, but that's the same as the G.I. Joe Adventure. Well, the boots and the gloves come from Kenner's $6 Million Man Mission to Mars outfit, and the helmet comes from the backpack radio set from the $6 Million Man. So they've just taken some Kenner's $6 Million Man items here, because that was the lucky thing with Kenner, with Palitoy. They had a relationship with Hasbro because they were bringing G.I. Joe items into the British market, but they also had a relationship with Kenner because they were selling their Star Wars product. So they had access to Kenner tooling. So again, it's not a rip-off, it's not a copy, it's a licensed tooling for various toy parts. And yes, they used some $6 Million Man pieces to in several parts of the Space Ranger line. Yes, Gary, the German paratroopers camouflage is different to what was shown in the equipment poster. That was an early prototype, and in the end they just went for the standard camouflage pattern as it was cheaper. I know when I showed, I can't remember what was the last video I showed this guy in. I think I did a live stream about Action Man German soldiers, or the German army, whatever, German uniforms. And a lot of people pointed out that the German paras did not have a reserve. Doesn't need to be 100% correct because not everything in the Action Man line was. But this guy I've decked out with an early Action Man parachute pack there. He's got aids, an MP40 machine pistol. But the main thing I've done there, I've actually taken the shirt from a Luftwaffe pilot outfit and dressed him in the shirt underneath the tunic, and I think having that collar out with a few embellishments, it really makes the set pop. Mark Cab, good to see you on here, mate. How you doing? Yes, Alan, I know they don't have reserve shoots, but I like the way it looks. How does the Space Ranger breathe in space with no face mask on? I like to assume that he's maybe piloting the Solar Hurricane or something, and he's in an enclosed cockpit or something. Okay, now we've only got a couple more to go here. So this uniform was available as a complete set as the Africa Corps Lance Corporal. It was called, that had all the webbing. But that figure came with the German helmet. The only way you were able to get the so customizing this guy is, it's easy. I wouldn't say it's easy to find the parts because it's quite a rare outfit. But yeah, you just take the accessories from the Africa Corps Lance Corporal, and I believe a lot of people sort of display their Action Man figures where a lot of people like to get two of these, where one he's wearing the cap and one he's wearing the helmet. So. Mark, I spoke with that before on the US Marine, the American flag. I actually don't know where I found it. I actually think it's a small flag, maybe from a gift shop or something. I just happened to find this small American flag and sort of stuffed it in his tunic, and I just thought it sort of set the uniform off. I think I was thinking about the famous image of the US Marines raising the flag on Iwo Jima. So. And here we have the International's Russian infantry. So this guy comes with a very unique helmet. I'm just going to move these accessories before I hold up to the screen so I don't drop them. So he comes with a very unique helmet. The shape and the chin strap and everything is quite unique. He basically comes with jack boots, green trousers, and this large greatcoat, overcoat. And the way I've decorated him here, some of these accessories are quite difficult to find. The anti-tank grenades and I can't remember the name of this machine gun he's got here, but they're taken from the 1960s Russian infantry outfit, which is not an easy outfit to complete. So it can be a little bit difficult finding those accessories if you want to use those, because there aren't many other kind of Russian type World War II weapons available in the Action Man line to customize it with. But the sash across him, I don't know where I got the idea from, but that is literally the small fabric sleeping bag that you used to get in the Action Man Special Operations kit, in the kit bag. You get the sleeping bag. So I took the sleeping bag, ironed it nice and flat, laid it out long ways, folded it up, and just laid it over there. I think I might have done it when it was damp, and then sort of continued moulding it when it was damp, so that once folded up, it actually moulded to the shape around his body, and then just held it in place by sticking the belt around him and strapping the belt on. So I think it sets off the uniform quite nicely. Yes, Gary, the Action Man Kalashnikov machine gun PKM is a cool weapon accessory. Yeah, it is. I actually don't have one of those, Gary. There's a guy in Stryker's squad in the Sands of Iwo Jima who carries the stars and stripes inside his tunic. Okay, yeah, I haven't seen that movie for a long, long time. Maybe that's where the idea came from, subconsciously or something. I don't know. But yeah, the real thing that Action Man collectors like about the International series is that it actually encourages that customization, because you're getting some unique outfits, for those guys who, really do want to collect them all, or whatever you call it. You certainly want to get the German paratrooper because it's the only way to get that helmet. You want to get the USMC because of the unique uniform and all that kind of thing. But because they're basic outfits, it encourages you to do that customization. And I'm not huge into customizing. I've made a few over the years. A lot of the ones I've made, I've almost sort of passed on to other people. But these are ones that I won't get rid of because they actually are based around original Palitoy sets. And it's part of the history of Action Man, and it belongs in the collection. So. Thanks, Mark. He says it looks great, Tony. Really nice. Thank you. Denny's Fisher, Kenner Palatoy's sister company, originally did it up in Action Man. An example, yeah, the Solar Hurricane was the Bionic mission vehicle. That's right. The guy in front of the space guy. This is Africa Corps, German Africa Corps. I'm going to move the space guy down. This I actually need to do some work on this figure. He's really floppy. He needs to be restrung. Now we've only been going 33 minutes and I've gone through them all already. Who's got a question for me? I don't want to. I've got a couple of boxes to open here, but I don't want to wrap up the stream already. Mark's asking, "What's my favourite? What's my favourite of the internationals?" I'm probably going to have to go with the United States Marine Corps. I just love that figure. Yeah, I really like the way that looks, and I'm really pleased with the way I customized it with the US with the American flag with the stars and stripes. Richards, just started work on my SAS custom canoe. Been studying the pictures of yours. Can't wait to complete it. Oh, cool. Paul, have you got enough pictures? I'm more than happy to take a few more photos after the stream and post them on Facebook or something. And if you have any questions about like what parts and pieces I used, I'm more than happy to share that. The Red Parachutist is a Red Devil. The Red Devils were part of the, well, not were, they still are. They're part of the Parachute Regiment, but they're sort of the parachuting, like the display team, who will do synchronized free fall jumps, military shows and things like that. Yes, I am missing one of the internationals, King Eric. I'm missing the Tank Commander. I'm not really rushing out to get it because I've got several other versions of the Action Man Tank Commander. I even sent a version of the Action Man Tank Commander to Retroblasting a few years ago. The only difference with this one is the different type of fabric they use for the jacket, but I actually think the original jackets look better, so I wasn't too worried about that. I wonder if Palatoy planned full sets originally with these international outfits. No, as far as I'm aware, Gary, no, they didn't. What they were trying to do was introduce an alternate type of product at a different price point. The idea being that, perhaps a kid couldn't afford to get a full uniform with their pocket money. They might be able to pick this up one week with their pocket money, maybe get the Africa Corps shirt, trousers, and forage cap, and then possibly the following week with their pocket money they could go out and buy a small arms kit and accessorise him or something. Loston says he's fashionably late, but those internationals figures are amazing to see all together. Thank you, Loston. Yeah, they really are a nice set of Action Man figures. Soviet Idiot, what are your expectations on Hasbro's plans on bringing back Action Man? My expectations probably far exceed what we're going to get. My expectations are very, very high for Action Man, but that's not what we're gonna get. What I think Hasbro will do. So for those of you, I think I talked about it in the last live stream, and there are a few videos on the Full Force Podcast YouTube channel discussing this news. Hasbro have announced that they're bringing back Action Man in 2021. Specifically for the British and European market because the brand is so well known there. I like to think that you guys will get it in the States as well, but it seems as though they're aiming at the European market. What I think they're going to do is kind of take the 90s concept of Action Man being some kind of a extreme sports spy. They are definitely going to link it to some kind of, whether they're going to do a cartoon or live action. They did that in the 90s. There's going to be some kind of a storyline to go with it. They maybe even a computer game on your mobile, or a game on your mobile to play, something like that, an app. I am not expecting Hasbro to bring out Action Man with military uniforms or anything like that. You know, if he has anything that kind of looks like a weapon, it's going to be a bit like G.I. Joe Classifieds. It's going to look like a Nerf gun or a laser gun. Yeah. Jace Dobson says, "Hey Tony, great display. I had just about everything as a child. My uncle Ivan worked at Palatoy. Just remembered there was also a boxer dog with the Canadian Mountie. The boxer dog didn't come with the Canadian Mountie. A lot of people often display the Brutus the guard dog with the Canadian Mountie because the Mountie and the dog were both available through the Star Scheme, and I believe there was a photo on a lot of the Star Scheme outfits where the Mountie's holding the lead for the guard dog. I actually like to display Brutus with the German sentry box from Escape from Colditz. I think it looks better there. Anthony Whitehead, good to see you. Yes, I'm doing well, thank you, mate. Action Man Customs. Grew up with the 90s Action Man myself. Missed more military uniforms, I remember. Yeah, they did do a couple of military uniforms in the 90s, but very, very early on, and they quickly got away from that. Gary's Action Man channel. Would be good if Hasbro allowed the Mattel Motu Origins line theme, followed the Mattel Motu Origins line theme with Action Man, aimed at kids and adult collectors. If they do that, Gary, they're the 70s Action Man, because they're not going to they're not even going to attempt to sell this kind of thing to kids. In today's politically correct world, you could not sell Africa Corps figures or German figures to children. You couldn't even have it. Shops, I don't think, would even stock it in the toy aisle anymore. So, Kieran Ball says, sadly, Hasbro cannot afford to make the high-quality Action Man figures, equipment and clothes of our childhood. We'll probably create a line similar to Marvel Legends. The one thing with Action Man, they're really, really going to make a mistake if they do not stick to the 1/6 scale. If you're going to go 3 3/4, it's Action Force. It's not Action Man to me. If you want to go 6" or 8", you're going to miss the mark, because Action Man was really... Palatoy deliberately didn't give Action Man any kind of a backstory or an identity. The idea that Action Man would become a child's best friend, their favourite Action Man, and that was certainly the case for me. He became my best friend, and he became whatever I wanted him to be. That was the really cool thing about Action Man and the concept. And that, 1 week he could be a UN soldier, the next week he could be a Red Devil parachutist, That's I still feel that's where they missed the mark in the 90s. They wanted to have an additional cartoon to help sell the merchandise, and the cartoon quite famously had some live action segments in it. But Action Man, he actually became a character, and then fighting Dr. X and all of that stuff, and all of a sudden the kid's got 6 Action Man. He might have because they were selling them then. Although yes, you could get some outfits on their own, they were predominantly sold Action Man figures boxed with a complete play environment. Once you get 4 or 5 of them, you've got 4 or 5 of the same character. Here, Action Man wasn't actually a character; he was whoever you wanted him to be. So I hope that made sense. I feel like I rambled a little bit there. 70s Action Man vehicles were ready to go after a few stickers were added. 90s Action Man vehicles like giant Airfix kits. Yeah, maybe. Soviet Idiot, they'll really put a female figure guaranteed. Yeah, there will be a female figure in the line, I'm pretty sure. King Eric the Greatest of All says, Hasbro is going to do a release of a Karen action figure. She comes with an iPhone and says, I want to talk to your manager. That's good. Gaposaurus. Tony, think there's any hope for a truly retro 3 3/4 inch O-ring line in 2022? No, I don't think there's any hope. I don't think that they put. I don't know what it is. I know anyone who's ever taken a GI Joe apart want to make the small metal T-bar piece that connected the top of the legs up through the crutch with the hook that goes into the torso. Similar to how they made the Star Wars retro collection. So last year we had Star Wars, this year we had Empire Strikes Back. And in neither line have we had a C-3PO or an R2-D2 because they don't want to do the vac metalizing. That's why they're choosing other types of figures. I don't think we're ever going to see a C-3PO or an R2-D2 in that particular line. Jen says, my childhood Action Man were my best friends and they all had a name and personality. Yet my Action Man's name was Michael Dusk Fox. Dusk Fox, because those who watch the channel eagerly will know that Dusk Fox was the code name I got given when I joined the Action Force members team. And my best friend, who lived down the end of the street, was a couple of years older than me. So, I had like a best friend at school, but then I had a best friend in the street. He lived down the road from me, and he was probably 2 years older, maybe 3 years older than me. So I kind of looked up to him a little bit, being this sort of kind of older kid. And his name was Michael, so I took Michael and Dusk Fox, and my Action Man when I was a kid became Michael Dusk Fox. And I even remember writing like a service history file dossier for him at one point. Gary's Action Man channel. I hope Hasbro consider doing some collector Action Man figures. Yeah, they might, Gary. I don't have a lot of confidence. A Frogman, British Infantry, Ski Patrol, and a footballer that didn't look great. I really hope they do, but I just don't. I don't have the confidence in it, my man. I really don't. Lost and Wallace, I have a lot of Stan Solo Star Wars figures, and there's a number of videos on this channel where I talk about them. I think the most recent one I did is I acquired a number of the different droids, the new droids. So, like for example, the Yavin Ceremony C-3PO is just a glorious figure. I've done several videos on Stan Solo and Smith Lord Creation stuff. King Eric, the greatest of all. Off topic, Tony. Did you hear Hero Quest is getting a reboot? Yes, I did, King Eric. I was chatting to George Aitken about this the other day. They're crowdfunding it. I don't know why Hasbro keeps having to crowdfund everything. They're a multi-billion-dollar company. They shouldn't need to do that. I would really like to. Probably what I got into in between collecting action figures. I was really into Hero Quest. I had the main board game, and then I had two of the smaller add-on packs. I don't remember the names of them now. And I've talked a few times about wanting to reacquire the Hero Quest board game and making a video about it. I will not be helping Hasbro crowdfund the project. And if you look around, I was just surprised when I looked around at actually how valuable vintage Hero Quest sets are. But when I say value issue, go on eBay and hunt down the original. Don't go and get the reissue. That's yeah. In toy stores, don't make people crowdfund. Although I believe that the crowdfunding goal has already been reached. So there you go. Okay, guys, we're going for 47 minutes. I want to open up the donation boxes now. So let's move a couple of guys out of the way here. German soldier can go down there, or German power, I should say. Russian infantry. Okay. The first, well, I think it's a gift box. It doesn't say who it's from. Oh, well, I didn't know Michael Caparella. So this may be a donation, or this may be something that I have purchased for myself and just forgotten about. I don't know. Let's have a look here. What's in the box? No, well, by lunchtime I would not buy here an Action Man Funko Pop. Never. Tony, thanks again for all your awesome videos and the hard work that goes into making them. My very best wishes to you and your family. Keep up the fantastic work. Cheers from New England, Michael Caparillo. I think it's... Yeah, Michael Caparillo. Thank you very much, Michael. What have we got here? Oh, man. We have a custom Black Major. So that's a Red Shadows eel. How cool is it? So the Cobra eel is probably one of my favourite Cobra action figures. It's on the cover of Action Force Weekly issue 2. And this is a custom... Oh, man, look how good that looks. A Red Shadows eel. This is awesome. How cool is this? Sorry, I've got to put this together. I've got to put all the accessories on. So he's got the swim fins. He's got the two-piece backpack. So all the accessories are identical to... Well, this looks identical to an original Cobra eel. He's even got the harpoon gun there. I don't want to break the thumb trying to put the harpoon gun in. How cool is that? I'm not going to stick the air hoses in the backpack because I'm worried about them. The vintage ones would break off next to the mouthpiece, but normally those hoses fit into the top of the backpack behind him. How cool is that? That's awesome. Thank you very much, Michael. I love this. This is going to go with the Red Shadows Night Viper that Scuba Pete sent. That's awesome, man. Thank you very much. Yes, George, Action Force continues to expand. Gaposaurus is asking, is that from the Black Major? I believe it is. Don't quote me on that, but I'm fairly certain that's a Black Major custom, yes. Michael Schaefer, you know you're a true fan when you go silent and outfit your new figure with his accessories. Yeah, I had to put that together. That's... The Cobra eel was one of my favourite Cobra figures when I was a kid because, yeah, I've already said it. He appears on the cover of Action Force Weekly issue 2 where he's in the sewers underneath London being chased. Really good story. And now I've got a Red Shadow version. That's awesome. Have you ever noticed Mattel has declined much more compared to Hasbro? I'm not sure that they have, Collins Walker. I think Mattel are actually doing far better stuff with their Motu Origins line than anything that Hasbro's doing. So, and at the end of the day, obviously, Mattel's always going to have Barbie. I don't really keep up to date with what's going on with Barbie, but I'm pretty sure Barbie's still in toy stores. They're always going to make money with that property. And we have here a box from John Baldry, who you may remember sent me another awesome gift box. Panther from Masters of the Universe with some of the Horde figures. So thank you very much for the last gift box, John, and thank you very much for the next one. Let's Let's take a look at what John's put in this one. If I can get it open. There we go. And John Baldry's in the chat. Good to see you, man. Thank you very much for another gift box. What have we got today? Yes, George, I do have Timber the Wolf for Snake Eyes. Unfortunately, his rear paw is broken off. I just use a little bit of blue tack to prop that up. So, in the USA. Very nice but simple note there, John. Appreciate that. Oh, wow. I can't even see this. I'm just reading the note. I don't want to read this note out. He's written on here what's inside. And I want to keep it a surprise for you guys. Let's have a look. What is this? This is a custom action figure that is called Savage He-Man. How cool is that? It's a combination of Prince Adam legs, someone's arms, weapons from the Battle Gear set. That's cool. Okay. Yes, Craig plays 12. I did know there's a new Ghostbusters movie coming out in 2021, and yeah, I hope it's good. The trailer doesn't look too bad, so Tony, you need a little more help with the 84 line. We got Cyclone figure, never. Oh, how does that work? What a wacky action gimmick. I'm going to have to replace the rubber in his legs there, but other than that, I know these are hard to get with the chest sticker. That might be a custom replacement, which doesn't bother me at all. But it's very nice that he's got the chest sticker there, so yeah, I'm going to have to replace the rubber in his legs. He's a little bit loose, but Alan Dawson is asking, since Hero Quest was mentioned, are you into Warhammer 40,000 as well? I was into Warhammer around the same time, Alan, but I never got into Warhammer 40,000. I was always into Warhammer Fantasy. Here, custom glass master from Conan, no paint, just a swap made the cape. Glass master from Conan. What's the glass master? Cool. Another very cool custom figure. Look at that. Little bit of web store. He's got a cape there. That's nice. Another custom here. And it is... Oh, man. Do you know how long I've wanted one of these for? And I'm not worried about an original. All I've ever wanted is a custom Wonder. Or Wonder Bread He-Man, whatever you call him. This is awesome, John. I've always wanted one of these. I watched a video probably a couple of years back with Toy Polloi made one out of a Fisto and changed the head to He-Man, and that's very cool. I've always wanted to make my own. Now I don't have to, because I'd probably mess it up anyway. Uh-oh. We've got Black Series. John's only gone and got the one figure from that particular wave in the video I made that I didn't pick up. He sent me the ADAT driver. Thank you, John. I do hope you realise that this guy's coming off the card. I'm taking him out. I have Boba Fett on the way in the post as well. When I go to Perth next week, I'll be hunting around for some Black Series. I'll be going to all the Zing stores around me. Zing is a pop culture store in Australia that sells lots of Marvel Legends and Black Series and stuff like that. So, and I've also, I don't want to make you Americans jealous, for anyone who's interested in the G.I. Joe Classifieds line, but I've heard that G.I. Joe Classifieds have been popping up all over Australia in massive quantities. Like there was one I saw a photo on Facebook the other day of a like a department store, I think in Brisbane on the Gold Coast, and like 40 Pimp Daddy Destros on the shelf. Not a line that I'm going to be collecting, but they seem to be like close to going on clearance here in Australia because there's so many of them. I don't know what the hell has gone on with Hasbro's distribution, why some people in the States are struggling to find them in toy stores, and yet here in Australia we're getting way too many. And finally in here, we have a couple here. I love this. So this is like a reusable Star Wars shopping bag. And this has got a very retro feel to it. This is awesome. I'm going to use this when I go shopping, so I'm not using plastic bags and things. And we have one with Baby Yoda. That's awesome, John. Thank you very, very much. Wow, there was so much cool stuff in a small box. I love the ADAT driver. As I said, he's gonna. I almost regret not picking. I'll be honest. When I made that video where I talked about what did I have, like Bespin Luke, Yoda, Bespin Han, and Hoth Leia, and I said in the video that I didn't pick this guy up. I just wanted to get heroes. I actually went back to that Kmart maybe a week later to pick him up, and he'd already been sold. And also, where did I go last week? Oh, I went to Karratha last week. It's like it's the next nearest town to us. It's a two hour 20-minute drive, 220 kilometres away. Me and Gracie went to Karratha for the day. Just a little bit something to do, go on a bit of a road trip. We had a nice lunch, and they got KFC there. We don't have KFC here, so we brought a bucket of chicken back for Zen too. But Karratha's a bigger town, and their Kmart is much, much bigger as well. So I went into Kmart, and as I always do, I'm going down the toy aisles, and I see that I see a sign that Star Wars Black Series is on clearance in Kmart. So I'm like, oh damn, I'm going to pick up as many as possible. They were like $10-15 cheaper, $25 a piece, where they're normally about $35-40 in Australia. And I went over there, and they just had rows and rows and rows of Princess Leia in her Hoth outfit, which I've already got. It's like, oh, yeah, we got 12 of those and no other figures, so that was a bit disappointing. But okay, guys, I know that, again, apologies for the streaming issues. I'm going to try and get it resolved. I need to speak to my internet provider because this has been a really big issue for about a week or so. It's actually, it's affecting the way days and days filming, editing, producing a video, and then I want to get it out to you guys as soon as possible, and it's taking 6 hours to upload a video that should only take about an hour to upload. At most, it should take like 45 minutes normally. I don't know what's going on. So I've got a lot to sort out today, so I hope you have a great weekend. Enjoy the Retro Blasting live stream tomorrow. I'll be watching the replay. It's a little bit early for me. But yeah, take care of yourselves, and if you're not on Patreon, if you are on Patreon, you've already seen our latest video. It got posted about 5 o'clock last night my time, about 12 hours ago. So it'll be going public on YouTube in about 11 hours time or something like that. It's a 17-minute video where we count down the top 10 best 80s action figure toy lines. Really pleased with that video. and looking forward to you guys getting to see it later on. So take care of yourselves, and I'll see you soon.